The 15th of Kislev, December 5th. And page 87. So we end off yesterday with the question, what did David do so bad that he said, your statutes, your laws were songs to me? What was so bad? And we even explained he was contemplating how the whole world's energy is dependent on one detail of a mitzvah, right? There's new energy. You do the mitzvah, like example, the tefillin, you do it right, you bring new energy flow. You don't. So what was he saying that was so...
different stages of how you do it right, too.
But the question is, what did he say wrong by saying that the Torah, he was praising the Torah, that the whole world, with all its, vastness, it's incomparable to even one detail of Torah, which brings a new infinite energy flow when it's done. However, page 87, for extolling the Torah with this quality, saying, your statutes were songs for me, he was punished. God reproved him, as the Gemara said, you call them songs. Indeed, this quality of the Torah, that all the worlds are nothingness compared to one detail of it, is but of the hinder part, the externality of the profound supernal thought. This is explained elsewhere in the name of the Rizal and the teachings of our sages. The Torah is the withered vestige of supernal wisdom.
Where do you see that?
87 middle. The Torah is withered vestige of supernal wisdom. However, meaning the Torah as kind of like a channel for the world, that's a secondary thing. However, the innermost core of the depth of supernal thought, which is the innermost core of the Torah, is utterly fused with the infinite Ein Sof light that is vested within the Torah in a perfect unity.
Why do we get a little accurate about this? The Torah, to me, represents 40 years of God and man, namely the Jewish people, sharing a common experience. That's what it is. That's what it became.
We say, that's true, but the Torah is also God's wisdom, which is not limited to...
Yeah, but it's also, it's not only God, but it's man that you have to include in this.
100%. The goal of the Torah is the bridge of God to man and man to God. That's what it is. That is what the Torah is. It's a bridge. Right? And
it's a common experience. That's a better way, in my mind, to say it.
Okay. We're talking a different angle here, but it's not a contradiction.
Well, it's a matter of emphasis. And
okay, so sometimes you emphasize
that. That's a compliment in my mind.
It is. We're going a different angle here. It's a different, it's not a contradiction. Anyways, the innermost core of the depth of God's thought, which is really the innermost core of the Torah, is utterly fused with the infinite Ein Sof light that is vested in the Torah in a perfect unity. Relative to the infinite one, all the worlds are as absolute naught, sheer nothingness, non-existence. For you are the same before the world was created, and you are the same since the world has been created.
Amen.
In other words, if the Torah is God's wisdom, but it's also a bridge to the world, you're having two opposites. On one hand, it's pre-world. It's not. The Torah doesn't just exist. God's wisdom is not only in existence if there's a world. It's a manifestation or a aspect of God. So
this statement over here is right from the Siddur.
Right. So in other words, if the Torah is God's wisdom, it's pre-world. It's before the world. On the other hand, we said as an external part, there is an aspect of Torah that it is a energy flow, a conduit for energy into the world. Hence, so what do you have here? The internal part of it is, it's God's innermost wisdom, not contingent on the world. On an external level, the Torah is a conduit for the world. Hence, the eternal aspect of the Torah is not at all to be lauded as being the animating force of all the worlds. For relative to the internal aspect, they are reckoned as nothingness itself. In other words, David was right. The Torah is a song. The Torah is praise. The Torah is something that is so great. The whole world is like nothing to one iota of the Torah. However, that's a secondary aspect of the Torah. A more internal aspect of the Torah is God's wisdom, totally above and non-contingent on a world.
He got punished.
And that's why he got punished, because if he's saying the Torah is my comfort because any trouble I have in the world is like nothing to the Torah. Okay, but you're putting the word world in the Torah in the same sentence. On a certain sense, it's lowering the Torah. This is very, very subtle. Just to be clear, this is very, very subtle.
It's so subtle that it's above me.
Well, me too. So
Me too.
As I said, as my disclaimer, the last few weeks have been very, very dense Tanya. It's going to get easier, much more understandable starting this Tuesday.
I think I understand it, but I don't see why he should be penalized or criticized.
Let's see. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean, I can understand the point.
Like, why can't he say a lesser point? Who cares?
Yeah, why the lesser is included in
Yeah,
in the
I don't know.
greater,
I'm not sure. It's a good question. In this, I would have to look in the shines like that. In this inward aspect of the Torah, there can be no mortal heartfelt joy and delight. But rather, in a manner of speaking, the heartfelt joy and pleasure of the King, the Holy One, blessed be He, who delights in it. For only God understands its way and knows its station and quality. Through his self-knowledge, as it were, knowing himself, he also knows the Torah that is entirely one with him. This, however, in other words, so the highest aspect of Torah is the way it is in God, not really comprehensible to man. This, however, that high level is concealed from all mortal eyes. As it is written, as he keeps quoting this, that Hashem told Moshe, Ufanai lo yiro, my face will not be seen, as is explained there in the name of the Arizal, which means the innermost aspect of God cannot be seen. The back of God, what does the back mean? A manifestation, more of an external depiction, whatever that means. But even without knowing what it means, we can understand there's internal and external, signified by face and back of the head. Then here, hence the verse, I was a delight unto him, specifically unto him. Misachekes lefanov. Likewise, in the following phrase, playing before him, lefanov dafka, the hainu, b'chinas pimiusa, the verse specifies the term before him. For this refers to the inwardness of the Torah.
Where is this one? I was a delight unto him. Where is that quoting from?
Look at the bottom.
Exodus 30:20. No.
No.
Proverbs 8:30.
Proverbs 8:30. The verse specifies the term before him, for this refers to the inwardness of the Torah. I mean, the Torah is God's inner delight pre-world.
Well, here you're talking Torah, you're not talking 5 books, you're talking more than the 5 books.
Yeah. But no. We say Torah, we mean more than, yes, we include Torah, oral Torah, Tanakh. It's all one thing.
Well, I think it's a little bit too broad of a generalization, if you ask me.
Okay. The Alter Rebbe will now explain that this sublime level of Torah, the inner part, the inner pre-world part of the Torah, in which God alone delights, that descends to nurture the souls of the Jewish people. For this reason, the Medrash called the Torah Uman, one who skillfully nurtures a young child.
What does it mean?
Uman means a craftsman. Concerning this inner part of the Torah, it is written, I was by him, I'm on page 89 at the top. I was by him, Amon. And the Medrash comments don't read Amon, but Omein. The Torah, 39 Proverbs, is like I guess it's a parable for the Torah speaking. I was by God. No, I'm not sure I think King Solomon's the Jewish people, was by him in a way of nurtured. In regard to the external part of the Torah, it's written, God playing with his world, with the globe, his land, and my delights are with mortal men. the external aspect of Torah does bring delight to the world and to man. For the Torah is given in both states, inwardness and externality. As it's written concerning the flying scroll of Zechariah, and it was written front and back. I'm not sure.
What?
There's a scroll of Zechariah, flying scroll. I think it's something. Oh, here it says the scroll.
A flying scroll, not a flying squirrel.
No, exactly. I'm not sure the flying scroll of Zechariah. I think it's some story by the destruction of the temple. I forget the story. It was written front and back. The point is, we see as Torah is written front and back. We see a concept of a scroll front and back, which means there's an inner, front, and there's a back, external.
Rabbi.
And that, let's finish up. Since David, his comment, he seized upon and praised the hinder part of the Torah and called it a song that brings comfort because the world is dependent on the Torah, even one iota of the Torah. He was punished with forgetfulness, which derives from attitude of externality. He thus became momentarily oblivious to the verse concerning the ark. The sacred service is their duty, on the shoulders shall they carry it. In order to combine and unite the shoulders, which are akin to the hinder part.
Rabbi.
With the sacred service, meaning the
Yeah,
soprano.
we could not have forgotten that. That I agree with. Very surprising.
So that's the issue.
That's the whole issue.
So this is interesting. This is actually very fascinating. You look at the story, it's very random. He says a song, he's punished. He forgets, what's his punishment? He forgets to carry the Torah on the shoulders, have it carried on the shoulders. It's like,
Why wasn't there a team there? Why didn't they say something?
Whatever. The point is that King David could have had any punishment. It could have been, he could have had another tragedy happen or another mistake, right? Why specifically was this his punishment? He forgot, he had a lapse, he was the head of the Beis Din, I believe, he was a big scholar, and he forgot, he made a command that was not based on halacha. Put it on the wagon. Of all things, like an anvil could have fell on his toe. You know what I'm saying? Like what happened of all things. So according to what we're explaining, the inner concept of what was the issue, you're going to see how it plays out in the actual consequence. What happened? The Torah should be carried on the shoulders. What's that represent? You say it's respect, right? There's a deeper aspect here that the human being, there's a deeper aspect of the human being, which is to combine and unite the shoulders, which are akin to the hinder part. Combine, unite the shoulders. So basically, the shoulders are the back. It's the back of the Torah. What's the idea? You're putting on the shoulders with the sacred service, meaning the wisdom. So what's the term? Avodas hakodesh aleim bakasef yisa'u. The holy work of carrying the ark, meaning the holiest part of the ark. I mean, I guess the ark being the inner part of the Torah, I think, should be united with the external part of the Torah, the back. It's a kind of a Kabbalistic depiction. The back of your back is representing God's back or the Torah's back. The Avodas HaKodesh, the holy ark, represents the front, the inner part of the Torah. And the idea is to unite the two. For in this state of inwardness is the source, the tablets. Because what are the ark has the tablets. The tablets represent the very undistilled inner part of the Torah. They're not, a package or the more details.
You know why we can say that? Right?
Well,
Which one? So let's finish. Let's finish the chapter. Of this verse states written on both their sides. And as explained, the Jerusalem Talmud tractate Shkalim, the tablets did not have any front and back. They were entirely panim, signifying pnimiyut. That's another thing. I was going to say it. The tablets, there was no back of the tablets. Every way you held them, you could read it. Typically, when you carve out a tablet, through a stone, it's one side you could read, the other side is mirror image, right? And
An ace.
an ace. So one side is front, and one says mirror is mirror image. But a miracle happened. Everywhere you held it, it was like, your iPhone, like it goes this way, you put it vertical or horizontal, it always go reading the right way, even though logically it can't be that way.
No front and back.
Because the
only front.
tablets represent the inner part of the Torah. It can't be a back, even in the way, just physically.
Yeah, but when they, at the very final moments, when they take it down, they have these, they're not supposed to take the staves out. But that's what how they get it into the Holy of Holies. They have to
Yeah.
carry it there.
Yes, and I guess the idea is that the Torah is. But I mean, I'm not. Here's the thing. What Kalatim Hasidism does, which is very fascinating, is it takes just the how and what of Judaism, like the laws, and it gives you a little bit of Kabbalistic terminology, and then it will show how basic Judaism is really Kabbalistic. It's very practical, but it's also internally a Kabbalistic configuration. And that's what it's doing here. So we took a story. Let's just summarize. We took a story, a very weird story. King David said in Tehillim, the Torah is to me a song, because he was talking about even his time of distress, he could comfort himself. The whole world is like nothing, is dependent on one detail of Torah. And what happens next? He gets punished. Later on, when they redeem they get the Philistines, give back the ark that was captured, he says, carry it, put it on a wagon, which was a big lapse of halacha. It should have been carried on the shoulder. And he was punished because he did that.
Does it say that in Tehillim somewhere to
Not
carry?
the story. Zmirus hayu lichukecha is in Tehillim. There's a statement of the Torah was a song for me.
Right.
That's what the stories in Samuel and Shmuel Beis. And now we explain what was so wrong, because it's not wrong to say the Torah is also an external utilitarian thing for the world. But that has to be connected, united. I guess he focused too much on that. You can't say it by itself. It has to be within the context of, but the Torah is God's inner delight. So there's like a separation between the external and internal.
I see. He made it seem like a self-help thing.
Exactly. That's a very good thing. People make Torah like self-help. Exactly. The Torah is the best guide to life, which is true. There's actually a very deep idea in Chassidus. A lot of the Chassidic teachers were very insistent about that. When you say the Torah, do the mitzvahs because you have a better life. It's true. The Rabbi would say that.
But not enough.
But when you put the focus on that too much, you're trivializing the whole Torah. It's dependent on the world and you having a good life. I mean, the whole reason God made the Torah is just for you to have a good. So mankind can not buy a New York Times bestseller. He gave his own bestseller. It is the best. The Bible's the biggest bestseller. But that's what God's contending with. Tony Robbins, Havdil. So the answer is that's exactly your point. Actually, it's a good thing you pointed that out. And that's why what was the consequence? He forgot a certain halacha. Of all the halachas, why that halacha? Because there's a Kabbalistic depiction here of this idea. The ark is the tablets. The tablets is the inner part of Torah. It's put on the shoulders. The shoulder represents the external, more, I don't know, utilitarian, but the more external part of Torah. And it has to be united. But since he focused too much on the external, he ended up putting the Torah in an external way, not even uniting it, not uniting it on the shoulders to the internal. This is an interesting. I find this. It's dot connecting, and it's very high level.